for me?
Yes, I can.
Got a little
Um,
presentation.
Let me see if I can do that. How do I do that?
Yeah.
Allowed to. What if I make you host? Then can you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And you're already recording, correct?
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you first, and
Okay.
then we are going to get started. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Emily. Hello. Welcome to our team call tonight. This is Emily. I am so excited to have her on here. We had just mentioned this, but I actually met her through a Diamond Facebook group, and I reached out to her just because I was looking for some other coaches that love the Lord. And it's just really cool that, we have been able to connect. She is a youth pastor's wife and worship leader in New Mexico. She's a mama to three little girls under the age of 5, and she's been coaching for 4.5 years. She's a diamond coach and a Success Club All-Star, which is 24 months of hitting Success Club. So helping 3 people a month. That's incredible. And she has advanced 2 diamonds. So she is a diamond, but she has advanced 2 diamonds. So for those of you that don't know, you do have to hold it for 6 weeks for her to become a 2-star. So that is what she's working on right now. And let's see. So she is going to be really talking about how she's been able to create simple systems and sustainable ways to stay consistent in this business through so many seasons of life. A couple of them are she's moved across the state, pregnancy, newborn life, new jobs, sleepless nights, all the mamas. You understand that. So I'm so excited for her to chat with us today.
Yay. Thank you
Go,
so much for
girl.
having me. I'm pumped.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me if y'all can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, thumbs up. Okay, cool. Let me get my little presentation here. Oop, I'm on the wrong. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, oop. Okay, cool. So like Lauren said, I'm Emily. I'll put a little, ooh, that was fancy. I didn't even know it was gonna do that. So here's my cute little pictures, whatever. It's a little bit about my life. Like you said, I've been a coach for 4.5 years, which is so wild coming out of my mouth. I don't feel like I just signed up, but I don't feel like I've been here for that long. And I just a little bit of background about where I was at. So I was the girl like all growing up who was insecure and who wanted to be healthy, but like I never played any sports. I would just try little like fad diets on Pinterest. I tried to kind of go to the gym during college, but I never did it consistently because I didn't know what I was doing and I was intimidated by the gym. And then after I had my first daughter, I was already probably had 20 to 30 extra pounds that I had just gained over the course of college. And then I gained 20 or 30 from having her. And so I was 50 to 60 pounds overweight and so uncomfortable, just so miserable. And I saw a girl working out on Instagram, you know how it goes. And I was just like, where'd you get these workouts? And she started chatting with me. And by the time I realized that this was like a thing I was going to have to buy into, it was too late. Like I was excited about it. And so I literally did like the bare minimum, like not even a challenge pack or a TSP because I was like, I don't want to spend money. I don't want products. But I just fell in love. I did 21 day fix and lost 8 pounds in 21 days. And I was like, whoa, like this works. I'm so excited. And so she was bugging me. She was like, you've got to be a coach. You've got to be a coach. And my daughter was 4 months old. I was finishing my last semester of college online. My husband and I got pregnant 3 months into our marriage. So like we were still basically newlyweds, had a newborn, and I was finishing college, and I was like, I have to get through my last few finals and then I will sign up. And the week of finals, I signed up as a coach, posted my coach post that day. Like I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm all in. If you're into the Enneagram, I'm an 8, which means I'm very competitive and very like, let's do this, no excuses, tell you how it is kind of person. So coaching works well for me in that way that I'm like, if there's goals, I want to hit them. And yeah, I love it. So yes, this is just, About me, so I have 3 daughters. Delaney will be 5 in July. Kennedy is just turned 3 last week, and Hadley will be 8 months this week. She's getting so big. So that's a little bit about me. Oops, how do I do this? Okay. So like I said, tonight we're going to be talking about systems for success. Lauren had I asked her, like, what do you want me to talk about? And she was like, I feel like I've noticed you kind of post these things consistently, or you have consistent clients joining you. And so I think that'd be a good thing to talk about. And so I narrowed it down to these 3 systems I want to talk about. Let's talk about systems of social media, systems for Success Club, and then my personal system for keeping sane versus burning out. Because, not everybody makes it to 4 or 5 years as a coach. A lot of people don't make it 6 months, and that's because they don't know how to keep a slow and steady win the race kind of pace. So first, let's talk about social media. I have no idea where y'all are at, so I'm gonna be kind of basically, I am not a niche or niche, depending on who you are, kind of person. This is not that kind of talk, but it will go into this. So a couple years back in my planner, if you don't have a planner you love, get a planner you love. I have oh, my voice is echoing. Uh-oh. That's going to be very distracting. Okay, I'll figure it out. So if you don't have a planner you love, I have the Daily Grind by Angie Bellamere. I don't know how you say her last name, but it's amazing. I highly recommend it. But on that, I will write out every day a couple things that I want to hit on my stories. Now, if this looks overwhelming for you, I promise it becomes a habit. Like, I don't write all these things down anymore. I'm not writing down, make sure you post your workout clips, Emily, because I've been doing it every day for 4.5 years, right? And hopefully, if you've been a coach for a little bit, you are used to posting your workout clips or sharing your products in some way. Not like, hey, look, buy this Energize with a picture of Energize, but drinking my Energize while I do a little dance or whatever, sharing a product without specifically saying, here's my product. Talking on stories. We were just talking about how we like watching each other's stories and getting to know each other. Like I said, I try to put my blinders on and not watch too many other people. But when we're building connections, or when we're building connections for people to become our clients, they want to know who we are. They want to know, like, and trust us, right? So talking on my stories, that's one I forget. That's one I still write down. I'm going to talk on my stories today so that people can see my face. Even if it's just today, I talked on my stories about I'm trying to sleep train my daughter, and we've been co-sleeping. So how do I, just,
and I had everywhere
responses. And then I have kind of the basics
set of pajamas for the day,
like nutrition. If you use the BAT nutrition, share your personal life, do a call to action. So a lot of these things, if you use the business activity tracker, you're going to already have them on there. But I think this is a really easy way to build a consistent rhythm on your stories. Part of that, so if down at the bottom, like the CTA, if you're doing a call to action, I think this is what Lauren pointed out to me when I was asking what I should talk about. It's like, I will do almost at least once a week, if not 2 or 3 times a week, I will share screenshots from my group. So I will share, like, lost 3 pounds, or wow, that workout was hard, but I finished it. It doesn't have to be massive things, but just showing my girls, checking in and sharing their wins. That is something that I try to do consistently. I also try to share a transformation post of some kind at least once a week on my stories. Because for whatever reason, if it's the end of the month, which it is, we got less than a week, people. Sharing your transformations is what will take people from, I don't know, to, okay, I have to do this. So I try to do that at least once a week, more than that during the last week of the month when I am trying to lock in Success Club, or like right now I'm trying to lock in SC12. That's been my goal every month this year. So sharing transformations. And then on your posts for the week, this is for me. I meant to say that beforehand. All of this that I share with y'all, I want it to be an encouragement and like a potential blueprint for you. Don't hear all of this and go, oh my gosh, I can't do all of that, and freak out. Okay. These are just rhythms that I have built, and now they're habits. I, out of habit, will write something faith related, or about life and ministry, or about usually it's parenting slash faith. I feel like you learn a lot about your faith and about God's love when you're desperately trying to love your children. So I write a lot about that. So I try to do something, a reel or whatever with parenting your family, a post or a reel about faith or ministry, and something health and fitness. Like this week, at the end of this week, I will finish the 21 Day Fix Super Block, which was probably my favorite versions of 21 Day Fix. It was so fun. So I will be sharing. We'll see if there are befores or afters to share. I mean, there will be, but we'll see what the results were. Third child postpartum has been real hard, but I'm going to share. I feel so much stronger, and I had so much joy doing it. And it was so much fun. I'm going to share something related to my fitness journey. So again, this may feel really basic, but having these are the daily stories I'm going to hit, and these are the weekly posts I'm going to hit, just written down somewhere as a goal is really helpful to help people. I can trust you, not just as the body girl, but as a person that they relate to, right? Okay, so next, let's talk about Success Club system. So like Lauren said, I do have a good track record with Success Club. I think I dropped it like 2 months in 2021, and I was devastated because I'm pretty sure at this point, maybe not, I don't know if that maths correctly. At this point, I if I had not missed those 2 months in 2021, I would have had it whole time, and it's just devastating that I missed it, but it's fine. We're not, progress over perfection. It's okay. So these are the things that I do to hit Success Club almost every month of my business ever. So I say pick 3 income producing activities that non-negotiable you're going to do that day. For me, I am always, always, always either going to send invites or follow-ups, depending on the day of the week, depending on kind of where I'm at, before my head hits the pillow. That can be really hard sometimes. Sometimes it's the end of the day and I'm like, I just want to go to sleep. I don't feel like I have anyone to invite. I don't, whatever. There's so many excuses, but I will, if my husband wants to watch TV, I will say, okay, while you watch TV, I'm going to watch with you. I'm going to send 3 invites. Like, it doesn't have to be a lot. I'm going to set a timer and just send as many invites as I can in that time, whatever. But having that kind of rule for myself, or that deadline for myself, has honestly been so freeing, because then days like today, I didn't really have a chance to do a lot of coaching stuff. So I'm going to be doing that tonight. Tonight, after we get off this call, I'm going to go send a couple invites, because that is a part of my income producing activities. I aim to do that, or I have committed myself to doing that 5 days a week. And we'll talk about a little bit about that in the next slide. But so invites, follow-ups, pick 3 of those 5 things. You don't have to do all of them before bed. It would be good if you did. It is a power hour, but I usually try to connect and respond to messages during the day. I'm checking in on my clients kind of as I see them logging in the bod group or whatever. But those invites and those follow-ups, and usually one more thing I'm going to do while my husband and I wind down for the night, watching TV or, hanging out. So I would say I genuinely believe that is not the only reason, but the main reason that I have hit Success Club so consistently is just because I am consistently connecting with people, consistently inviting them, and consistently following up. And I think if you do that 5 days a week, at least 3 of those things, you would be hard pressed not to see results from that. And then the last system I want to talk about, and this is less of a system and more just some things that I'm still finding, is finding your sanity versus burnout, right? We would rather you not go diamond immediately, or not, whatever. There are people who hit elite their first year and then fall way off because they're burnt. And so we would rather slow and steady. My original coach, who's technically still above me, is burnt out. She worked super, super hard her first year and a half, and then she's still there, but she doesn't do anything. Julie is my grandma coach, and she has claimed me as her own, thankfully. And so ever since then, I've been like, I don't want to burn out. I want to be here in the long run. I want to be here 10 years from now and be like, yeah, I've been a body coach for 10 years, or a partner for 10 years. And I love it. And I have seen so much growth in it. And So these are things that I am still working through and learning how to do, but these are some things I've done specifically in this season of 3 kids. I don't think I've slept a whole night through in like 5.5 years. And so I have to find things that work for me in each season. So one, I think recognizing your season. There are seasons to hustle, but if you are in hustle mode all the time, you will burn out. So I would say right now I am in a maintenance season. Like I am trying to encourage the coaches I have. I have 2 coaches that are pushing towards diamond. One of them has hit diamond before, and she's just trying to get that back so we can hold that 6 weeks, at least lock in 1 star. And then the other diamond that I advanced was actually my husband. So technically I advanced myself twice, but and so getting him back, I am, but that's right now I'm just working on encouraging them and building these habits. And when they get close, which they are, there's like maybe 3 or 4 people that they need to lock into place to get to diamond. We will kind of lock in a deadline and we'll say, okay, now we're in hustle mode. And when you're in hustle mode, you tell your husband, you tell your boyfriend, you tell whoever you're responsible to, you say, hey, listen, I'm in hustle mode now. I am trying to reach a goal by a specific date within the next 6 weeks or so. Don't make it, 10 weeks from now, because you hustle for 10 weeks, you're going to burn out. But I will say I'm going to hustle for the next 4 weeks for this goal. I'm aiming for this date. And when I do that, when I've given myself some maintenance time and I've given myself some time to breathe, and then I say, okay, this is the goal and we're running for it, I very rarely have missed it. And that's not to brag on myself, but to say, I think when you've got that ebb and flow of recognizing it's not going to be up, up, up all the time. Sometimes it's, I've hit this goal and I'm going to stick with it. And I've signed up 5 people this month, and now I'm going to invest in those people. And that investment will turn into coaches or partners. I think that's worth it. So yeah, recognize what season you're in. And don't use it as an excuse. Don't say, oh, well, I have a baby, so I can't do anything. Like, think about the previous slide. Like, we're still going to do those 3 income producing activities, whatever those 3 are for you. But recognizing, like, I'm in survival mode with my kids right now. They are all young. I have to wipe all their butts every day, still, all 3 of them. And that's just too much to also be trying to be, like the top coach in the company. Like I that goal is not for this year. That doesn't mean it's not a goal someday, but it's not a goal for right now. And so recognizing that. Build in breaks. Again, I don't know. My team is very, very, very faith oriented. And so we like to talk about Sabbath, which actually, did I spell that wrong? I think I did. But we are aiming to give ourselves not just a break from, whatever coach work, but in life, giving ourselves a chance to breathe and trust the Lord with the business that He's given us. And so I have built in 2 days a week. It depends on the week. A lot of the times it's a Thursday. I will, in the afternoon, instead of doing a power hour, I'm gonna enjoy a show that I like, or I'm gonna spend time with a friend, or whatever. Same thing with, obviously, we have rest built into our workouts. There's at least 1 rest day, so giving yourself rest in that. But I think building in those breaks is what's going to keep you from just absolutely drying out, right? Even your clientele, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but when you take a day, like, don't post stories for 24 hours and then you come back again, people watch your stories. And I don't know if that's an algorithm thing or if it's just people like excited that your face is back up there. But taking those breaks, biblically, we see that taking time to rest will produce a bigger harvest, right? Pruning back will produce more. And so building in those breaks is such a healthy thing. You've all heard it, keep joy in your journey, right? Like, first and foremost, we started this, more than likely you started this by falling in love with taking care of your body, falling in love with these programs. For me, like I said, 21 Day Fix was my first program ever. My favorite program of all time is 80 Day Obsession, and I am starting it again next Monday, and I am so excited because it really does bring me joy. And that's weird because it's a very, very long and very hard program, but it's just my favorite. And so I am choosing to do that program. If I were thinking purely on a business mindset, I should probably do the next super block. I should probably do T25. But I was like, okay, Shaun T brings a lot of people joy. He's not my cup of tea. I like him as a person. I don't always love his programs. You know what I love? I love 80 Day Obsession. And I am in a season where I want to enjoy, I want to look forward to my workout every morning. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I think we're allowed to be a little selfish in that, because originally this is about taking care of ourselves, right? Like our job is to take care of our own bodies. And so find joy in that. Find ways to keep the joy in the journey or
Anymore. Oh, well, my AirPods died. Can y'all still hear me? Okay. And then lastly, again, let's talk about scripture here. We don't want to gain the whole world and lose our soul, right? Like, I don't want to get to top 10 or elite or whatever, and my husband and kids be like, well, you spent your whole life on your phone. So I am choosing to do all these things we've talked about and still do the IPAs, still do the income producing activities. I am still running and building my business. I am still doing the things we talked about at the beginning, where I am sharing my stories every day and I am posting 3 times a week minimum. But when it comes down to it, I am going to trust the Lord with my business, rather than spending so much time anxiously worrying about my next coach or my next rank advancement or my next paycheck even, right? I want to be goal oriented and I want to work as if it depends on me, but I'm going to pray like it depends on God, because it does. And so I think if we can trust the Lord in that and we can really seek to bring him glory, then more often than not, when I kind of relax and I say, okay, God, I'm just going to do the steps, he brings the harvest. And so I think, please hear me. I hope your coaches aren't mad at me. I am not saying don't work hard. I am just saying I would rather you work steadily and unto the Lord and see his fruit than make it to the top and be alone there, and regret not bringing the or going with the Lord to that spot. So that's pretty much it. All I have left is this little quote. If you haven't read The Compound Effect, you should read The Compound Effect. You only need a series of tiny steps consistently over time to radically improve your life. So yes, we want to go big. Yes, we want to have big dreams. I started this call by joking about how this is my practice for my future national wake up call. Like, I have big dreams, big things that I want to do and things that the Lord has put on my heart. I really want to be 5-star this year. And that like feels embarrassing saying out loud as a not even 1-star right now. But I'm like, I know I have girls who can do it. And I know that there are other women out there who the Lord may be calling to this. And so I want to lean into that and to believe that's something we can do. And I'm going to continue to take the tiny steps consistently over time and see how that improves my life. Even if I end, my goal is 5-star. If I end with 2-star, I will be proud of the work I put in, and excited to see what else he has next for the following year. So I think that's all I got. How do I stop? There we go. Yes. Okay. Were there questions?
Thank you so much. That was incredible. First off, it's really encouraging to hear your joy. When you were saying in the beginning, you were like, oh, I've been doing this for 4.5 years and I'm only a diamond. Like, but you have so much joy in this, and that speaks volumes, because again, we all want to be proud of what we've done, no matter how many years we've been here. That's a huge part of Caroline's story, actually, is like, she grew this business very slow and steady. But I love that. And I think that's really encouraging to everyone here. So I would love to take some questions. So y'all go ahead and drop them in the chat if you have a question for her. Anything. Ask her anything.
Yeah, let me read through here. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys liked it. Thank you. I'm leading this same call for my team next week. Okay, what are your current coaches? Or what are they? Challengers trying to coach. Yeah, let me think about this. I
Which
think
question are you answering?
oh, sorry. The there's two of them I didn't see. The current coaches, were they challengers turned into coaches? So I have two that are pushing for diamond who are like my actual runners. And one of them, I don't even post on TikTok anymore, but one of them found me on TikTok, like when TikTok first became a thing in like 2020. And she had already been doing Beachbody and switched over to me. And then became a coach somewhere in there. And then the other one was also one of my Rockstar challengers. But I have had people become coaches. I think I've only had one ever that signed up, like I was about to sign her as a challenger, and she was like, I actually kind of want to coach. And I was like, great. And she did coach for a very long time until it just became a thing that she couldn't sustain. But otherwise, yeah, I think pretty much everybody is challengers because they know they already love it, it's not just a matter of loving fitness, but a matter of loving the programs and loving what we have to offer with body. And so yeah, I've got some others. I've got some challengers brewing that need to become coaches. We'll get them eventually. How have you balanced this with being super busy ministry seasons? Would you be in maintenance those times? Yeah, honestly, I think the whole like maintenance versus hustle thing is more a like personal how I'm feeling as opposed to a literal how busy I am. So yes, like I lead worship. That's about a 10-hour job that I do just between Sunday morning and prepping for that. And then my husband's a youth pastor and a singles pastor. So we're at church Sunday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and usually have something else during the week. And obviously like pretty much all day Sunday we're there. But like, I mean, this weekend I'm going to one of my kids shows twice. And then the weekend after that, I'm going to another youth kids show. So it's just like, it never stops. But honestly, those kind of thing, like that kind of busy, almost like I said, I think it depends on your personality. For me, I'm invigorated by being busy and by lots of activities and by helping people like this. I love doing this. I love leading calls. I love encouraging people. It kind of depends on where you're at personally. You know what I mean? So for ministry, like right now, I am not currently attending youth group with my husband on Wednesday nights because I knew that for me, after having my third daughter, I knew that I didn't take a break after my second. And I was like, I want to, this is probably our last biological child. We would like to adopt or foster in the future. But this is probably our last baby that I got to carry. And so, I'm just really trying to soak that up. And so I told my husband, I was like, if you don't need me on Wednesday nights, I feel like it might be frowned upon if I'm not there, but I feel like I need this time to enjoy my baby and get my life together. I don't know how many of you have multiple children, but it is wild, y'all. It is wild around here. Specifically my house is just a disaster. And so I take Wednesday nights to kind of as a reset for my week, and I clean up my house and I like whatever, prep my life on Wednesdays. I don't know if I'm actually answering the question. I guess all this to say, I think it depends on how you're feeling, not necessarily how busy your schedule is, but how you feel like you're managing and where you can fit things in. I don't know if that answers the question. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's helpful at all. But yeah, I think maintenance, like right now I would say I'm in maintenance, but it's because I'm growing in a lot of other areas of my life. In parenting, I'm trying to grow a lot, and spiritually I'm trying to grow a lot. I started therapy, which has been amazing, but also like kind of grind your soul up a little bit. And so I'm just in a place where I am trying to maintain sanity. Otherwise I really would be in a running stage. Business wise, I'm excited about business. I just don't have the mental emotional capacity for it. So there was another question. Oh, yes. I'm an 8, Enneagram 8, wing 7. Goals, but fun, What do my current invites look like? You want me to read one out loud to you? Hold on. Not to brag, but I think my invites slay. I hate that I just said that. I think they're pretty good. Let's see. Because I feel like I almost always get some kind of response, even if it's not right now, it works out well. Okay, hold on. Where are they? I just sent a whole bunch of them we have like a leadership group text, and we were all talking, like sending scripts. So like recently, one that I've been re-sending over and over again, to people who I've invited. It could have been 2 years ago, it could have been 6 months ago, it could have been 2 months ago, depending on the person and where I feel like our relationship is at. I've been saying, hey, I realized I haven't invited you to my boot camps in a bit and wanted to check back in. Is now a better time to talk options? How's your routine these days? I can copy and paste it into the chat. But I would say the key to invites for me, the reason I feel really confident about how I do them is because I pick one person who I'm like, this is someone who I know would be a great client. Here, do that or I'll forget. And I type it up as if I'm just talking to them, and then I adjust it as needed to each person. But I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm looking at my stories and I see someone watching my story and I'm like, this person would be a great coach. And then I text them personally. And I'm like, this is exactly how I would say it if I'm talking to them face to face. And then I'm like, hey, that was actually a pretty good invite. I'm going to adjust it a little bit and I'm going to send it to more people. But like I would tweak this. This invite I just sent, I sometimes will add in there like, you said X amount of months ago that you really wanted to join. Has anything changed? Or, what can we do to help you get there? Or I'll throw in something personal. There was somebody who had just moved. So I was like, hey, I know you just moved. Have you been able to find a routine? Or are you settling in okay? Or whatever. Just little tweaks like that help a lot. Confidence is key, guys. You fake it till you make it. Here's the thing. I know that what we have to offer is so good that I'm not offended when people don't want it, because I'm like, you know what? If Peloton works for you, that's fine. You're wrong, but it's fine. If that's I'm just kidding. I've never done Peloton. I don't know. But I'm like, if that's what's working for them, great. And more often than not, when I genuinely don't get butthurt about it, and I'm just like, great, this is what your thing is, so often they come back around. So often they're like, you know what? This sounds like something I could enjoy. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Do I have a process for connecting? Oh, girl. Connecting is my weakness, probably. I will say, I think what kind of turned a corner for me like a year or two ago. Again, how weird that I've been a coach long enough that I can be like, a couple years ago, I started doing this. I feel like an old lady. But I have a favorite podcast. It's not really like a podcast. They're my friends. It's called the Popcast. If you don't listen to it, you should. It's the best thing ever. But it's kind of like it's my other community. Like I have Body, and then I have my favorite podcast where it's kind of faith related, but it's mostly just talking about pop culture and life, and it's very funny. And so when I realized, okay, this is a big enough group of people that I think they have like 100,000 followers or something on Instagram. It's a big enough group of people. But we all have this very specific niche thing in common. We all live for Wednesdays when this podcast comes out. And a lot of us are in this smaller, I pay to get exclusive content because that's how much I love this podcast. And I have found so many people through that, because even if I don't I probably have maybe 2 or 3 clients through it, but so many even just connections, people who follow me or who I'm building relationships with. And it's because we have this niche thing in common. Oh my gosh. So I think finding something like that, and I remember people saying that on team calls, being like, find your niche group of people to connect with. And I was like, I'm a mom, I have 2 kids, but that's like, half the world. So I don't know how to tell you to find that besides it has to be a specific, like if you are a believer, I would look for Christian, but then like maybe like I like one of my taglines is oh my gosh, what is it? In my thing, it says something like that. Not your average Baptist wife, Baptist pastor's wife is one of my like little things. Because I'm like, okay, people will be, if you're in ministry, you'll be a little bit intrigued. But I'm also like, I don't want, no offense if this is you, but I don't want like super prude pastors' wives engaging with me, because that's probably not, like, I'm probably not your vibe, right? Like I've got tattoos, I've got piercings, I'm a little freer, and so I want those people, and so those are the people I reach out to. All that to say, yes, the podcast with Knox and Jamie is the podcast. Again, they're a little wild, but it's the best thing ever. Knox and Jamie, there we go. Oh, it corrected me. Popcast. Okay. They're the best. I'm trying to I had a thought and then I lost it. Oh, anyways, yeah. So I will literally, that's so great because every Wednesday they do a like engagement post on the podcast Instagram. And so I will like people's comments and respond to people's comments, and they've become my friends because we're all listening to the same podcast. And then they will, if I follow them often, they will follow me back because they see that we listen to the same thing. So yes, and then from there, I am very cut and dry. So like I could respond to their stories, but I am not someone who's like, hi, I'm Emily. Thanks for joining me on my, I feel like I don't have enough followers for that. That might sound silly, but I feel like if you have like 15,000 followers, then you can be like, hey, thanks for joining me here on my Instagram. But, and a lot of people do this and it works really well for them. For me, it feels not genuine. So I just respond to people like they're my best friend, like go watch their story and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny that your kid did that. My kid did that too. Or I will big voice message girl, because obviously, like you said, you can hear how much I love what I'm doing, or you can hear my passion. And so even if I'm just like, oh my gosh, can you believe the podcast said blah, 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 blah. And I end up building a friendship that way. Okay. I'm just rambling now. So. Y'all have been so great. Thank you so much for having me. Were there any other thoughts, questions? I don't know what time y'all usually end.
There's one other question. I'll read it out. How do you get past the whole awkward phase? For me, it's super hard to actually do it, like ask them to join me. I know it's weird. This is literally what I signed up for.
Oh, that's totally fair. I have a coach in that place right now who she just signed up. And she's like, I sent my first message. And I was like, cool. How did you invite her? And she was like, oh no, I just sent a message being like, hey, it's been a while. And I was like, okay, that's a start. So this is why, going back to the whole social media aspect of it, this is why it's so important to be sharing on your stories, your workout clips or some product, whatever that, because I will literally, anybody who's watching my story, I send them a message and I say, if I've never invited them before, my message is, and I can copy and paste this too, but my message is, hey, don't know if you saw, I run health and fitness groups for busy mamas like us, or I'll, ministry wives like us, or I'll kind of tweak it. And, I realized I'd never invited you, blah, blah, blah. Like I keep it super simple. And I'm just like, if they're watching my story or if they like my post, they're fair game, period. Like they have some kind of awareness of what's going on, because even if they didn't really register it, even if they flipped through my stories and didn't really pay attention to the fact I was working out, I don't cold message ever. Please, for the love of all that is holy, don't just message people. But if we've gone back and forth on stories at all, like if there's like, I know a lot of people who are like, we have to have 10 messages back and forth before I'm going to send an invite. If you're my kind of person, then you're going to respect that I'm just like, hey, I do this workout thing. It's super fun. Do you have a routine? Almost always my invite is, do you have a routine that works for you? Or what does your routine look like right now? Because it's a open-ended question. It's not, do you want to join my boot camp? Even though you don't know what I'm talking about, you know, it's very like, what's your life like, you know? And that's just not, it's not a hard question. And especially if you're a mom, they're like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I'm exhausted and I don't blah, blah, ever get to do anything for myself. And you know what I mean? And it's a fun rant sesh with other moms. So, I think it just leaves it very, open for them to engage. I don't remember what the question was. Did that answer the question? I'm like a squirrel, guys. I'm so sorry. But yeah, in general, and something that my friend Abby and I have been learning too is like, if you feel like you run out of people to invite on Instagram, switch over to Facebook, because there are different people watching you there. And if you're not sharing your stories automatically to Facebook, do that. Or have another stream of social media. So TikTok or something. Have a secondary where you have other people you're connecting with. Because I think that's helpful when you feel like you run out of people. Oh, yes, I will share the PowerPoint. Sorry, I'm looking at the questions. Yes, I can email or text or something that to you.
Yeah, I can get it from you.
Perfect.
Does anyone else have any questions for Emily? Any questions?
I'm also, like, I'm an open book, so go hit me up on Instagram or whatever. And I may not get to you as quickly because, like I said, I'm real bad at connecting with other coaches. But if you ask me a question, I'll answer it, probably via voice message with children screaming in the background, but it'll be there. It'll happen. Can I take a boomerang of you guys?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Wave or something. I'm excited. Okay. Ready, steady, go. Yay. Okay, cute. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hear about getting to do this. This was so fun.
I am so excited. I'm so excited for you. But if no one has any more questions, Emily, I would love to pray for you before we part ways.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
We love to pray over our speakers. So yes, all right. So Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for Emily. We are just so grateful that she took her time tonight away from her family, Lord, just to pour into us, just to be here with us, to be a light, to share her story, God. Lord, I just want to pray over her family. I want to pray over her husband, Lord, her kids, her business, and all of the things, Lord, that you are using her for in this season right now, God. I just want to pray over all of it. Lord, I just pray that you bless her business. God, I pray over all of her goals. I pray that you bring the woman into her life that you want her to serve, Lord, and that want to be a part of her team and that want to do this with her, Lord. Lord, thank you that we were all able to come together. It's just such a blessing that we're able to come together as, sisters in Christ, Lord, to do this business, Lord, and to have this opportunity that has blessed all of us in so many different ways, God. And we are beyond grateful for what you're doing and what you're going to do. We love you in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. I'm totally stealing that. That is so cool. I feel so blessed by you guys. Thank you. That was so fun.
We are so happy to have you, Emily. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank
friends.
you, Emily.
Pleasure. That was so fun.
Bye.